Aloha Kauai. Here's our daily COVID-19 briefing from Team Kauai for Wednesday, April 29th. Our cumulative number of confirmed cases remains at 21. As we announced yesterday, our one active case was released from the hospital earlier this week and is now recovering from COVID-19. This means we have no active cases of COVID-19 on Kauai at this time, and all positive cases have either recovered or returned home on the mainland. Kauai's tally of cases and other information on COVID-19 can be found on the Kauai Emergency Management Agency or KEMA site at www.kauai.gov/COVID-19. To view the total number of positive cases across the state, please visit hawaiicovid19.com. The daily count on this site is updated at noon every day. Today I want to talk about our emergency rules. It feels like a lifetime ago, but it was just last month in early March when COVID-19 became a reality for us here in our state. And in those early days and weeks, we did not have statewide rules and guidelines in place. At that time, during the peak of spring break, cruise ships full of visitors were still disembarking at our harbor, hundreds of tourists were sitting shoulder to shoulder on our beaches, and our residents were still carrying on with our normal, everyday lives. We didn't know much about COVID-19 at the time, but we did know that the virus moved when we moved, so we knew that we needed to stop moving, and quickly. In the absence of statewide rules, we felt it was necessary to use our mayor's emergency powers to create local rules specific to Kauai to help keep our island safe. Our goal was twofold. One, to discourage visitors coming to our island during this pandemic, and two, to reduce movement of people within our community. Both goals are designed to minimize the spread of COVID-19. Our Kauai rules closed county parks and campgrounds and required permits for non-residents to visit our beach parks. We closed bars and required restaurants to do takeout or delivery service only. We implemented a nightly curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. We required masks for anyone out and about, and we enacted strict restrictions on what was considered essential and allowable businesses or activities. That's a very quick summary of our Mayor's Emergency Rules numbers 1 through 6, which can be read in their entirety at www.kauai.gov/COVID-19. But over the course of the past weeks, Governor Ige has issued a series of statewide orders which applies to everyone in the state of Hawaii. Many of the governor's orders are similar to our local rules, which has led to redundancy and confusion. We understand that it has become increasingly difficult for our residents as well as our law enforcement officers to keep up with all these rules. So because we have been able to keep our case numbers low so far, we thought it was time to eliminate the redundancies in our state and county rules. More specifically, Governor Ige has now issued rules that overlap many of our own rules on things like beach activity. He has recently made it mandatory for us to wear masks while in public. He has issued a mandatory quarantine for all incoming visitors, and he has specified essential businesses and services that can be allowed to operate. This means our mayor's emergency rules number 3, 4, 5, and 6 relating to beach park permits for non-residents, bars and restaurants, mandatory masks, and essential businesses and services are no longer necessary and can expire as of May 3rd. To be clear, we are only allowing these local rules to expire because they are now covered by the governor's statewide rules on how we use our beaches or when we wear our masks or what work is deemed essential. However, we will be extending our Mayor's Emergency Rule 1, which allows our campgrounds to be used exclusively by our houseless community to shelter in place. Additionally, we're extending the Mayor's Emergency Rule 2, which is our nightly curfew. We feel our nightly curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. still serves an important purpose. The biggest change is the elimination of our Emergency Rule number 5, which detailed which businesses could operate and how. Again, although our local rules on essential businesses will expire on May 3rd, we are all still subject to the governor's third supplementary proclamation, which is the governor's interpretation of essential services. Our Kauai rules were the strictest in the state, and we believe they helped us significantly control the outbreak. We have not had a new confirmed case on our island in more than 2 weeks. For clarity, let's review what is changing. The shifting in the rules means that as of 5 a.m. May 3rd, all construction activities can resume so long as everyone is wearing masks, following social distancing requirements, and able to maintain cleanliness and sanitization. It means golf can resume so long as we can continue to follow modified rules to operate. Fishing and gathering can continue as long as there are no more than 2 of you, unless you are all members of the same household. Swimming, solo paddling, and surfing are permitted, as well as jogging and walking on beaches, but sitting and sunbathing on beaches is not allowed per the governor's order. To be clear, TVRs are still banned from operating as they are not listed as an essential business or operation under the governor's order. Incoming visitors will still be subject to the 14-day quarantine. And while permits are no longer necessary for non-residents at county beach parks, we all must still follow the governor's guidelines to not loiter on beaches. The key restrictions to protect our community are to maintain 6-foot distancing and to wear cloth masks, and to regularly disinfect surfaces and sanitize hands. Again, as of May 3rd, Mayor's Emergency Rules 3, 4, 5, and 6 will expire, and only Rules 1 and 2 will be renewed. All these rules, as well as the governor's rules and proclamations, can be viewed at www.kauai.gov/COVID-19. We've been talking about a phased approach to reopening our economy, and allowing Mayor's Emergency Rule number 5 to expire is our first step in that direction. In the coming days and weeks, we'll continue to assess what businesses and services can be resumed with little risk to spreading the virus. I know many of you out there are eagerly awaiting to reopen your business, and all of our businesses are important to us. So here is our approach. We must shift our mindset from essential versus non-essential businesses and instead start to evaluate our businesses in terms of risk of spreading this disease. If we can continue to keep our disease numbers low, we can and should continue to reopen our lower risk business operations in a staged, responsible manner. We know you have questions about specific scenarios such as retail stores, cemeteries, community pools, summer fun, pet grooming, car washes, and salons. I don't have specific answers for you right now, but we plan to further clarify allowable businesses in the coming days. For now, I want you to know that we hear you. We're working on it, and we will continue to keep you updated as more information becomes available. We're going to get there, Kauai. In order to continue making forward progress, we must continue to be diligent and careful in masking, in our personal hygiene, and how we interact with one another. That means stay home as much as possible. Refrain from social gatherings and public outings. If you must interact with people outside of your home, maintain a distance of 6 feet of separation and wear a mask. Do not leave home if you're sick, unless you're seeking medical attention, and then only after calling your doctor first. Wash your hands frequently and clean surfaces often. Finally today, did you know that April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month? And today is known as Denim Day, which provides all of us an opportunity to show solidarity with survivors of abuse and to encourage all of us to work together to reduce sexual violence in our communities. April is also National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Usually during the month of April, you will see pinwheels displayed on the front lawns of KPD, the county building, and the YWCA to help spread awareness. While we weren't able to hold a pinwheel ceremony this year, the message is more important than ever. This time of increased stress for our families can lead to an increased threat of domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse. Please remember that the Kauai Police Department, the Children's Justice Center, the YWCA of Kauai, and other community agencies continue to be available during this time for support with reporting, medical exams, crisis intervention, TRO support, shelter, or counseling. For assistance, please contact the YWCA's 24-hour hotline at 245-6362, or you can contact KPD Dispatch at 241-1711 to file a police report. If you are in an emergency, you can call or text 911 for immediate assistance. Mahalo to all of those working on the front lines to help support victims of sexual, domestic, and/or child abuse here on Kauai. We're going to get through this, Kauai. Stay informed and connected during this time of social distancing. We'll continue to post updates on our official County of Kauai Facebook page or on our Kauai Emergency Management Agency page at www.kauai.gov/COVID-19. The Centers for Disease Control is also updating its website regularly. For more information, please visit coronavirus.gov. Not everyone has internet access or follows the news, so please help to keep your loved ones informed. Kauai, we can do this. Hang in there. Take care of one another. God bless and aloha.